we are here on another rabbit hole Friday night and the Espresso Mail Call. How you doing, guys? Good to see you here tonight.
Good to see you, gents.
Excellent, excellent. And to my left, we have Chuck Hensey, terrific comics and pop culture. Yeah, Chuck.
Hello.
And then over Chuck, from the far north hinterlands, we have the one, the only Mark Andrews. Yes.
There you go.
We'll talk about that in a second. All right. And right below me, we have the artist. Have you been watching Phil Tastic's Instagram links? I mean, the artwork there, some of the stuff is fantastic. Some of it is better than fantastic. Phil, thanks for coming tonight.
Thank you.
All right. And I don't know who that guy is on the other end down there. But oh, wait a minute. Pittsburgh Pirate. Oh, it's Milt. Pittsburgh Pirate. That's right. I got it. I thought I didn't recognize you for a second, Milt. Thanks for being here, Milt. Any words of wisdom for us before we begin?
I got my piece of paper, my pen ready to write down all the books that Mark shows.
That's right. Now you got it.
No.
Wait, while you're writing it down, you could watch the replay.
Yeah, no.
That's right. I get another view. Come on, guys. So before we begin, I wonder if people have noticed that three of us are wearing a kind of T-shirt here, a new T-shirt. The two guys below me are supposed to have been wearing the T-shirts, but one has it, but it's not ready yet, and the other guy doesn't have his yet. But Mark, since you're the one who started the brouhaha,
no kidding
about this, why don't you tell us a little bit about the T-shirt? What's it all about?
Well, this T-shirt is as a result of extremely hard work by our friend Joe, whose channel this is, that we do this. And this is another part of his channel to raise funds for two incredible charities that Joe will do a much better job of explaining than I will. But I encourage everybody to join Joe's channel, sign up. It is next to nothing, even for a very, poor Canadian. I can afford the monthly donation to Joe's channel for these two charities, St. Jude's Research Hospital and the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. The second one, particularly being a first-line responder for many, many decades, is close and near to my heart. So I encourage everybody, get a hold of Joe, get a shirt. It's worth every penny you pay for it. They look great. They show all of the eras of the most important eras of comic books.
Modern is not part of it.
support these two charities. Joe does it all. He doesn't make a penny off this stuff. Right. And it is a great cause.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mark. And I want to thank the five guys that are here. If you take a look, here are our channel members. We have Tina Carenson. We have Terry from England, Deadman, and he was the one who suggested that I add Golden Age to the top of it. He's waiting for a payoff for that, so we'll see what I can do more. There's Mark, there's Chuck, Trev, who I see here in the chat. We'll go over the chat in a second. Part of it, Gary as well. There's Phil, Brian LCS, Nama the Comic Bookworm, Richard V, Pretty Fly for a Filipino Guy, Rob's Fat Stacks, Cliff on Comics, who I have to go visit soon. There's Milt, Dave Draghi, good friend of mine, Mike, Evils Comics. Damien, Sleepy Reader 666, who also ordered one of these. Spinner Rack Studios, Doug Bratton, Chris Bigger, my DC bro, and Dave Bratton, my other DC bro. So it's only $1.99 a month. Now, some people were complaining that it was too low, and they were not necessarily helping out these great organizations. St. Jude's Research Hospital, who helps people and families whose children have cancer. All right. And Tunnel to Towers Foundation, which does help the families of fallen first responders and of our soldiers who come back with injuries. So I keep telling you, it's very easy to do. When you're watching this, there's a little $sign there. You can hit that and you can throw more money at me. All the money I get, all right, is divided and sent to these two charities. Same thing with the T-shirts. All right, I paid out for the T-shirts. I got the reimbursement from these guys, and I'm sending that money all to the two charities that are there. And also, there's also super chats and the rest of the type of stuff. A few people have sent me some really nice super chats, and one guy I sent him a little gift because it was a very nice amount of money that he sent to me that he didn't have to do. So it's all to help out people that are less fortunate than us. It's only $1.99 USD, $1.99 US dollars a month. And as I accumulate the money and we get to $100, I get the money and I split it with the people. So if you have it in you and you can possibly afford it, I'd ask you to please join. You can join by going to my channel. There are links over there to do that, and we'll just keep helping as long as we can. I really appreciate it. Well, let's join us. Thanks, Mark and Chuck, for wearing your T-shirts. Fantastic. You should have done your laundry earlier. And the Milt, waiting on you. Okay.
And folks, it costs less than a new book, and it costs less than the cover price of some of the ones we're going to be showing you today.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
There you go. There's your pitch right there.
$2.75 Canadian.
Give up one comic and you can pay me for 2 months. All right. Tina, thank you for showing up, Tina. I know you're here. All right. Las Cruces.
And like the cup says, all the money goes to American heroes.
Well, that's true. Yeah, or their families. Okay, Jerry. Thank you, Jerry, for showing up. There he is, Steve White. Good evening, Steve. There's a man, Trev, the shipping guru. Trev, how are you? Brad Wellbore, another northerner. I'm not saying Canadians, you see, because it was a big brouhaha about mail getting to Canada before getting to people in the United States on Instagram. So I don't want to reignite that right now.
Oh, Phil will.
What?
What?
Well, look, I could. Do you want to ask the chat?
Well, let's wait until I get through it.
Okay, I'll wait. I don't want to derail the show. See, I thought I was doing you a favor, Mark. I didn't hear. You're welcome.
Gary, how you doing? Don't forget, I'm going to be on Gary's 1011, my birthday comic book show on June 11th. So put it down in your calendar. Digger Jim, my friend, how you doing? Good to see you here. Thank you for showing up. Sal Span. Yeah, was I late? Maybe I was a minute or two late. You know, that's because these guys talk up a storm. It's hard to wait a minute. It's 8 o'clock. I gotta get going. Let's see who else we got. Anybody else here? Yeah. Oh, see, yeah. Here it goes. I guess we were a little bit late. That's okay. All right. Let's see. Anybody else? Seth 11. Good to see you, Seth. Thank you for coming tonight. So you're going to enjoy tonight's show. Mm-hmm. Hey, the Motley's crew on this side of characters. Jackson, what would I ever do without you, Jackson? All right. Let's see. Anybody else? We got Sal already. I think we might have hit everyone. Nope. We got Brian. Hey, Brian. Thanks for showing up.
There you go.
I think Brian still has a day or two left on his Kickstarter for his book. All right. So go to Kickstarter, help him out. All right. So we can get his comic book going. The doctor? The doctor. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. All right. Saves June 11 and 12.
I was expecting a long show.
I guess I was expecting a long show. So, Phil, did you have something to say before we begin?
No. Okay. So let's bring this to the chat. I'm probably going to backfire on this one. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you're going to a concert, you don't want to be the person who wears the T-shirt of the bands that you're there to see, unless you bought it there. Then that's a whole different story. So before the show this afternoon, I was trying to explain to Mark, don't be that guy. Don't wear your shirt, your Joe's Channel shirt tonight, because then you'll be that guy. Because I honestly thought all that people wore in Canada were hockey jerseys, so I thought he was doing him a favor.
Those are upstairs.
But if you go to a concert, you want to wear an old concert shirt to show that you've been a fan of this band for a long time.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Not a recent add-on.
Exactly. And to add to what your theory is, Phil, this shirt is because of the channel we're on.
Exactly.
So they bought it at the channel, Phil. So
I bought this shirt at the channel. I could have walked in with nothing on and then put it on.
Well, don't do that ever.
We don't need to do
that. Let me ask you something. To Milt, you just said you have to wear to show your support. Who and when was the last major concert that you went to?
Me?
Yep.
I followed the Stones when they tour, so I got tickets to go see the Stones up in Cleveland coming up.
Okay, so Stones ticket.
I'm going to go to 4 or 5 Stones concerts in the next month. So
You're like my friends.
and you're going to be
They
that
got everyone
guy,
they
though?
can get to.
I mean,
So
are you trying to show off? I don't know how much a
Phil.
Stones T-shirt from a concert is. I mean, the tickets that they were just in Jersey last weekend, they were like $500. I'm sure.
The oldest Stones T-shirt I have is from like 1974, I guess.
Your T-shirt is older than me.
Yeah, so
And with that, what would you
I
pick
save all my shirts.
I don't know. I need the chat behind
All
me.
right.
And I did supply empirical evidence, by the way, that this is a thing. I supplied a movie clip from PCU.
Oh, you did supply a movie clip.
Yes.
And not for me, not to be one who loves to be like, I love to fit right into a rut and to a groove and never go outside the lines. I looked at the clip and went, thanks, Phil. And I wore my T-shirt anyway.
Yeah. Oh, I was just trying to help you. See, my theory is too, I'm going to wear my T-shirt when I'm on a different show. That way people could say, where did you get that shirt? And I was like, oh, you must now know about Joe's channel. Go ahead and tune in and subscribe and buy like 8 T-shirts. And there you go.
Bill, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And I will do that. In fact,
Can you say that again, Milt? I'm married. I usually don't hear that.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm also going to wear this shirt to Fan Expo in Toronto in August on one of the days that I go there.
There you go.
Go ahead.
There you go.
And Phil, so it looks like only one person agreed with you. So, and it's Jackson Roykirk, which immediately.
But his votes count as 10, so I'm good.
But Phil, at least you're not the guy showing up at the sporting event with a jersey from 30 years ago with the player that nobody remembers. Okay, you're not the Port Carolina Panthers fan showing up with the Jake Delhomme shirt with all the 20-year-olds going, who?
Well, what pisses me off, I go to a Pirate game. The Pirates are playing the Cardinals, let's say, and there's some asshole there with a Cubs jersey and hat on. I mean, what the hell is that?
What's wrong with the Cubs?
Anyway.
That team isn't playing that day, for one thing. If he wants to wear a Cubs jersey, go to Wrigley.
All right. Enough about T-shirts.
Oh, the
These
Pirates are in
beautiful
Toronto,
T-shirts.
by the way, Mark.
I saw that.
These are beautiful T-shirts. I designed it. And then Deadman, Terry from England said, why don't you add, because I only had Silver Age and Bronze Age, why don't you add Golden Age at the top? So I sent one in, came back. I said, you know what? It's a lot better. So that's
Looks
why
good.
Golden Age is in there. Yeah. And when you join the channel, you are an anachronist. And people are going to say, what the hell does that mean? You'll say, can't you read?
Yes.
Anyway, all right.
And I really like how the gold lettering contrasts my
He looks beautiful. He looks beautiful.
Well, that's the Silver Age and the Gold.
That's exactly right.
Grumpy old men -1.
See, there we go, Trent.
He's got a few years to go.
I'm not grumpy.
Right?
Oh man, who's first, Joe?
It reminds me of 2 grumpy. Yeah, that's true. All right, Chuck, why don't you go first?
Okay,
Bring
so
sanity to this show here.
well, and then we're in trouble then because if I'm the one bringing sanity, then it's just going to go downhill from there.
Bad.
So,
Bad.
my buddy on Twitter, he's great. He lets me get up a stack, and I get a stack, and then I pay for the stack. And to get his stuff, you got to log in early and often, and refresh quickly, and then be able to type even faster. And I don't normally go for big keys, but if one falls in my lap, I'm going to do it. So this is like 6 months worth of pickups from him. So we've got an amazing Spider-Man here.
Nice.
We hit our nice little Bronze Age fit here. So I continue to slowly work on that run. Great book. Let's see. There we go. That's where I can put it. We got a nice Ghost Rider here.
Nice.
Good.
And he doesn't always have big keys, but I was able to pick up the first appearance of Hammer and Anvil, which I'm told means something to the kids. So there's some guy in a cage at the beginning of it that's going to be in a movie, and really understand why, but nevertheless,
Never heard of him.
yeah, this is the low grade is better than no grade, and we certainly qualified with the low grade. So,
Mysterio.
yes, that's right. I got Mysterio, a great Mysterio too on that Amazing Spider-Man. So,
Mhm.
a couple of picture frame Iron Mans, nothing big,
Nice.
but nice looking books.
Yeah, they look good. They're good.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, they're good. But he sells some good stuff. And these are 780s. So, he had up. I've always got to have at least one go checkbook. And here's my go check right here.
Yeah.
So, love these silly Teen Titans.
That's just a great cover.
Oh, it is. It is. And Ding Dong Screaming Demon. So
Yeah,
we're not going to ask who that was. So, anyways,
that's my favorite book so far.
was able to get another copy of this. I have my copy that I bought off the
Nice.
rack rather back
Yep.
in the day.
Great.
But it's Charles Vess. You can't go wrong with Charles Vess. I mean, on eBay, I picked up some cool stuff. I've got another Charlton Phantom. I am
nice.
one away now from finishing my run.
Fantastic. Oh, that's great.
And I can find it on eBay, but I can't find it in decent condition
Mhm.
or at a price that is not insane.
Right.
So, people want like, $60 for these now, and I'm not paying $60 for one of these. So yeah. So
What issue, Chuck?
it's like 34 or 35. It's whenever it flips over to the 15 cents cover or 12 or whatever it goes up.
Okay.
It's a yellow cover. So, anyways, and grabbed a really cool Weird Wars Tales.
I love
Number
Weird Wars.
5.
Yeah.
Great cover.
It's an awesome cover. So, just really, really neat.
My Weird Wars don't look that nice though.
Yeah, and this is just really fascinating. They think they're hanging me, but not. You got the little here the name on the soldier,
Yeah.
Neil Adams. So
That's cool.
that was really cool.
Real good.
And then on eBay, also an old friend of mine was selling some stuff again. So he had a couple of
Oh yeah.
Nice.
duck
Wow,
books
look at
here.
that green cover. Nice.
So I got one of those, and this is supposedly the first appearance of Scamp, or this is Scamp number 1.
Oh.
That probably means something to somebody, but anyways,
Spaghetti lovers.
yeah, somebody. So
Well, yeah.
we're gonna do a couple more than I'm done. Somebody told me this was a spec book, so I spec'd on it. It's it was probably a mistake, but I'm easily swayed by influencers. So
That's a great book. That is a spec book. That's
yeah. I have this right
Oh,
here.
look at that.
So I've got all the other ones. I just didn't have this one, so I grabbed it.
Nice.
Another Phantom I grabbed. Again, this was the other one to help me get down to 1. So really cool. Love his outfit, man. That's just a great outfit right there. So, and then the last ones, and then I will, I guess, stop for this round. Little Huckleberry Hound.
Huckleberry Hound.
oh yes.
Little
Nice.
Charlton action there because I can't show
watching that cartoon.
And another Huckleberry Hound.
Good
Nice.
stuff.
So that's my first round. So
Excellent. Excellent.
cool stuff.
Good
Nice.
book. All right. Milt, get ready with your pen and paper because Mark is up.
Oh, hi. Actually, I don't have that many books tonight, Joe. Really.
I don't have that many either, so that's okay.
Yeah,
We'll have a
okay,
short.
I'll be right back.
Now,
Look at that wall behind Mark, and look at those Marvel cards to the
Beautiful
left.
books.
And what are in the right? What are those things to your left, Mark? What are those little things there?
what? These ones?
Your left, yeah.
Oh, that's a uncut sheet of the first Marvel set after this one. So that's
Ah.
the second volume.
Very good. Very good.
Very
Okay.
cool.
It's an uncut sheet. But since you're talking about that, I might as well just quickly show you the set that I did pick up.
Ooh.
That's
Wow.
the 1991 cover set, 100 cards. first appearance issue covers that came out. That's the whole set total. They're all really cool. Like they're all the little mini covers. I just got to figure out how to display them properly. So that was a very nice find. My nephew found these for me, and he gave me a call and said, "Hey, do you want these?" And I went, "Absolutely." So, like for example, there's Beware is number 1. Then it goes into giant size chillers.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That's
So
terrific.
it is a cool set. I mean, and the covers are all the covers that most of us on this panel would get all excited about. So
Yeah.
But it's great
maybe
that their first appearance covers is what you
yeah,
said,
their
right?
first cover, like the number 1 issues of all the
number
books,
1 issues. Okay. Okay.
of all the books from
Okay.
that era.
It's not that great because Trev has a set. So
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's a fun set. Anyway, I am going to get to books. There's just a couple of things I'm going to sprinkle them around.
hey Bueller, hope you're doing well.
So this is comic related, and I'm really disappointed that Vigor's not here. But because he always accuses me of not liking DC. That's not true, though I know what's all around me is not saying that.
I know.
So I kind of found this.
Ooh.
Art history for playing and make.
Oh my goodness! Look at that.
So
Are those paper suits in there or something or what?
Oh, this is great. Oh, yes.
That,
Very cool. Mark, have you seen the popcorn toppers, special Wolverine popcorn toppers for the movie?
yeah,
Yeah.
and the suit is all there, and the cape is there, and the
find
belt.
these things though. I mean,
Mark, does that fit you?
No, I tried it on, and I'm never going to show you those pictures. Anyway, so this one is from 70, about 71, 72. They're called Ben Cooper, like they're called Ben Cooper masks and play sets.
do it.
No. Anyway, this is as close as I'll get. This is actually, people would like this. I can do the rest of the show like this if you want to.
Well, to be fair, it's probably made from before they had safety standards. It might be like made of asbestos or something.
Oh, probably.
I'm sure it has asbestos. Yes.
Anyway, so
Mark gets these things. Mark gets these things because he has agents out there.
Yeah.
Do you ever notice whenever he shows something cool, it's like his nephew, his cousin, his son. Mark just stays in that comic book hole and doesn't leave, and the stuff just comes to him. It's just amazing.
Okay, so on to the comics. And funny you should mention that stuff comes to me. I see that my good buddy Steve White is in the chat, and I just wanted to, I actually got a mail from Steve with some really cool books in it, and he sent me 4 books. This is the first one. So this is a 4-color 548 from 1954.
Ooh, yes.
Oh, nice.
Crazy
Cool.
cat.
Crazy Cat. Thank you, Steve. That's very cool. And then we're moving up the calendar to 1970. This is issue 24 of 97.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Isn't that a cool cover? The Sargasso Sea
All of those
creature.
kind
It's
of
cool.
mystery ones or Frankenstein, Dracula, they were all very cool covers.
They are the painted like they did. These were little works of art that just are cool. And then moving up to 1974, this is issue 113 of 172. Now I'm waiting for Chuck to start this run because that's a lot of books.
Oh,
No.
Trump had fighting with the army fighting like it was an
Navy.
Air Force
Fighting
fighting
Navy,
Marines.
yeah.
Everybody.
They're like how much? There's what almost 500 books I bet between those runs.
There's so many of those you can't. Yeah, it's unreal.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then the really cool brand new book that Steve sent me. It has this really cool picture on the back of Jason Fabok signing it, and it's issue number 1 of the Rook with a great signature placement.
Yep.
the artist who did this. And anybody who's looking for a good read, this one
Great.
is a great read.
Great read.
The Rook Exodus so far I'm on issue 3, I think. An awesome read.
That whole universe is pretty good.
Yeah, so far. I'm pretty happy with it. But classic Steve White, he takes a picture of the artist signing the book. There's the signature, and this is the book.
Yeah.
So thank you, Steve. This was an awesome AOK and really cool.
The thing is that Steve takes the photographs and then he goes home in his dark room and actually develops them. And
That's the best COA you can get.
Yeah. And I found this.
Oh, you're still up? Okay, I thought you said that was it.
I get a couple more things to go.
A couple hundred.
No. Anyway, I got this one just recently as well.
A
this
no
is
prize.
No prize, which is kind of neat considering the series you did, Joe, just recently about the short series.
Yeah.
Night Nurse is the corner picture of this one, which I found kind of cool. I've only got really 2 more books to show, Joe. Then I'll be done. I picked this one up because everybody was talking about it.
Caught Between Two Worlds?
Yeah. So this is a Turner cover.
That's right. Yeah, it looks like Turner.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous Turner cover. Really nice Turner cover. And the last one I got is, again, because of you guys. Hope you feel bad. This short series, I was invited over to this place of a person who was getting rid of a bunch of books, and most of them were DC and not stuff in my wheelhouse. But there was this series here. There is this series here that really caught my attention, and I don't know if you guys have ever run into that. This is the Secret Orange. This one is 2 years before the series I'm about to show you.
Yeah.
So this is the Crimson Avenger, and this one is from like 19. This one is, I got it right, 1986. This one came out, and then in 1988 they came out with this 4-part series of it. So it was pretty interesting. This guy, for DC fans, this is the very first masked hero that DC ever published.
Right.
And as you know, Joe, because you're like a DC.
Well, I remember reading that somewhere. What year was that? Because now this is my rabbit hole thing. I just saw that short series.
Oh, yeah. So the short series came out in 1988, and the Secret Origins came out in 86.
Yeah.
Now, he first appeared in 1938 in Detective Comics number 20. And then again, he was on the cover of issue 22. And then for some strange reason, some guy on another title showed up wearing spandex. And
number 27, that was, I think.
Yeah. And then a little shortly after that, like within a very short time, Batman showed up. And people just gravitated to those characters. What was interesting about the Crimson Avenger, he was a guy from 1938, and he was fighting insurrection in the United States of Japanese and Nazis, so the Japanese Imperial Army and stuff. And he was all about what was going on really in 1938.
Right.
And people just coming out of the Depression and coming out and not wanting to go to war and not have any of this stuff shammed in their face. They didn't really want to read about that in a comic book. And they all gravitated to this guy called Clark Kent and to Bruce Wayne. And he was forgotten. He didn't show up back in comics for a long, long time, like almost to this day when this came out in 86.
Yeah.
So
which then once we got involved in the war, Batman and Superman, all that were doing all this type of like
absolutely
Captain Marvel and a bunch of
and they didn't seem to be interested in bringing back this guy. Like Lee Travis was his name. His driver was a yes, Doug, thank you. And his driver was a a Chinese landed refugee who was talking about the Japanese invading China in 1938 and all that kind of stuff, and people just didn't want to read about it. So, yeah, cool rabbit hole. It's only 5 books. These are not expensive. And what's really cool is the short series is written in that time period, 1938. Like it's gangsters.
I love that.
And yeah, and
That's like when we did the bronze stuff on the last comic book crowd, you know, it was all like you know, shadow 1930s. And
yeah. So
and you really got to keep that person back in the correct time frame.
you do. And they came out with a Crimson Avenger Volume 2 that tanked.
Yeah.
They modernized them, and he was, I think, only 1 or 2 issues.
They
And
did the same thing with the Shadow for 2 issues. Then they went back to the 30s. So Jackson says Roy Thomas. Did he write that stuff? Did he write it?
Yeah, Danny and Roy
right.
Thomas wrote all this stuff.
Oh, his wife, Danny, too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Roy and Danny Thomas wrote like all 5 issues, and they were true to the character from 1938. So
Well, you know,
again,
Roy
just,
Thomas would be
it's a really cool little series. It's well written. They actually show people getting shot. They show people with blood. They like it's like almost a pulp. And it didn't do well in 1988, sadly. But it is like I just thought it was a really cool series, even if it, you know, was a DC title.
Yeah, even though. Okay.
So I got a couple more, if that's okay, before I leave.
We are going to do a second round.
I know. I just
Okay. Good. Just want to make
So
sure.
this is another DC I found because I'm worried about you, Joe, not thinking I don't like
classic.
DC.
I got one of those. Those are great.
Yeah, and there is only one of these. They
Yep.
never did issue 2.
Okay.
Self-contained story.
Self-contained story, never did issue 2, came and went and died.
Yeah.
Which was really sad because thank you, Tina. This is a cool T-shirt.
Tina,
Anyone hasn't seen
you
it?
missed the beginning. You got to watch the beginning of the show.
Yeah, it's the best T-shirt going.
Come on, Tina.
Anyway, and the last one, this is another really short run series. There's only 4 issues of this.
Oh, gasp! Yeah,
Yeah.
I have one of them somewhere downstairs.
So that's the American Comics Group in 1960. This is from 1967. They were around from 43 till 67. This is one of the last series they did, and then they tanked and they closed up shop. Again, kind of a mixed painted covers. Like this is really kind of a painted look, and then the line look of the ghost. Anyway, kind of a cool little series, and that's my first round.
Yeah, you sure?
Yes.
I don't want to put you back in the peanut gallery and have you like yelling
Nope.
at you.
No, not until Phil starts. Then who knows what could happen.
All right, Milt. First round, Milt. What do you got?
Okay. Some books that I recently picked up on Whatnot, which I kind of liked. Whatnot did a Whatnot convention con on the air one night, a Saturday a couple of weeks ago. And one of the things I picked up that kind of liked was this Whatnot con exclusive of X-Men 97 #1 by Salvador LaRocca, which was
That's pretty nice.
That's a nice one.
It is.
Very nice.
So, and then along with that, they sent me this Whatnot Con. It's a book that inside of it is all kinds of different artists did different pictures on every page. Then a friend of mine sent me on Whatnot. This is the Grim Fairy Tales Wounded Warriors Special Edition.
Oh, look at that.
It's
very cool.
hard to find book. It's like only 200 supposedly existing.
Wow.
And it's an I Like Comics exclusive cover by Alfredo Keys, who I've never heard of, but it was a military book, so I just
That's nice. That's a nice cover. Nice book.
yeah, and you don't see anything from recent Iraq or Afghanistan wars. I picked this up also. It's one of the Dave Stevens I didn't have.
Yep.
And it is the Madman Comics. This is the back cover of the Madman Comics that Dave Stevens did.
Oh.
That's cool.
Okay.
And you mentioned that really nice Michael Turner. I picked up this Witchblade. It's a Wizard number 63 Ace Edition. And this is a Michael Turner cover. It's also an acetate cover.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of different, kind of neat. And you had to send in to get this, I'm pretty sure. So it's the rarity aspect is going for it, which is kind of cool.
Mm.
And then I do get Scotty Young stuff. And I got this through Whatnot. I got this Alien number 1 Scotty Young, which he only sells through his shop that he has,
Okay.
store that he has. So there aren't that many of these, but it's kind of neat. And then let's skip over that. Then I got this a while back. It's the Pebbles. It's the first appearance of Pebbles
Yep.
for the Flintstones.
That's cool.
Oh,
Uh,
that's good.
But a friend of mine for my birthday recently gave me this Flintstones number 16
Mm-hmm.
from 1964, which is the first Bam Bam.
Bam, bam. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So now I got the first Pebbles, the first Bam Bam. And since I got the first Flintstones, I'm all set.
You know, when they grow up, they get married too. Did you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arranged marriage. That's just wrong. Anyway.
Good for them.
Yes. Hopefully they'll have kids. And then this is Get Smart number 1.
Yes.
Oh, I love Good Smart.
Uh-huh.
And exactly, Phil, that's what I say. I always loved this show.
It's a great show.
And it's,
Yeah.
I don't know how many issues they made, but it's the first one. I like to get the first issues.
Brooks.
Yeah. Here's something I picked up at the Steel City Con way back in April. And I liked it. I don't like to get books where I'm not there when the person signs the book. This,
You
however,
purists. You purists.
well, no, it irritates me, but no big deal. Different strokes, you know.
Let's all send him copies of signed books and see whether he gets really irritated or not with them.
No, it will irritate me. It's one of those things. It's no big deal. But I'm a big I Dream of Jeannie fan.
Oh,
Who
And,
is it? Who is
and
it?
this was a homage. This is I Dream of Sabrina.
yep.
It's the
Yeah, that's
Sabrina
cool.
Annual Spectacular from 2023. It's the New York 2023 Comic Con variant by Dan Perront, who also signed the book,
Yeah.
which is kind of neat.
That
Were
is
you there?
kind of-
That is awesome.
I like that
Were
one.
you there when he signed it?
No, I wasn't. That's why it's irritating. It's
So wait, you like it, but you just stare at it like, oh, God.
yeah, actually, it's one of those books I wish I had that he signed on the back. But now I'm going to hear about this from Joe for way too long. But this is Archie and Friends number 1 from 2023, and it's the Star Wars Virgin homage by Dan Perront. There was only 200 copies made of this,
wow.
which anymore I kind of like to get and I like girl covers, so this is a
You
nice
do?
Mm-hmm.
What
I
is
did
he
not
like?
know that.
That's new to me.
Yeah.
Girls and ducks. Ladies. Girls and ducks.
Okay, anyhow, I also like to collect books. Now this is one I have, but this is I got a bunch of these, but
That's the
this
good
is a Captain America Fights Drugs. from back in the like 1990 or so. But what's interesting is this is I like the books that are like this one is from The Guardian. It's a magazine. I'm not sure exactly, but the government, this is sponsored by like the FBI and some other government agencies, which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
And then here's another one that this was sponsored by, this was put out by Sports Illustrated and Kellogg's. And Joe, you'll appreciate this. This is a Nolan Ryan winning pitch.
Ah,
That's cool.
Cool.
Hey, what's funny is
Joe's reaching for something.
I still got this one that you sent me, which is great.
There you go.
Mickey
yeah,
Mouse.
Mickey
There you go.
Mouse. Yeah.
My favorite. Well, Mick was my favorite, so that was great when I got this. It's so nice.
This you can pick these up. Well, I shouldn't say you can pick them up. You can find them like in the dollar bins all the time.
Yep.
And and then here's another one that irritates me because I wasn't there. And this is ElfQuest #2. The guy at the Pittsburgh Steel City Con gave it to me because he knew why I would like it. And this is signed by Richard and Wendy, the creators.
Yeah, nice.
Cool. Very good.
Yeah,
it's neat to have something signed by them, but I wasn't there, so Now this is neat here. They were giving me all kinds of crap. I don't know why, but
this is a lot of crap so far, Joe. They're
this is called the Victorian. From March of 1999. It was, I think, a 3 or 4 issue series. But Jim Steranko did the front and back covers, which is kind of neat. Doesn't look like a Steranko to me.
no.
What's wrong with Victor? So,
But get this, I opened the book up when I get home, and inside is a COA, which I put on the back here. Steranko signed the back of the book.
Oh,
cool.
Which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
But why don't people do this kind of crap? Write what the book is, and then the COA put it on the back. That way you have it right there, like that photo you had, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, then a couple girl books before I go.
Oh, good, good. I was getting worried for a second.
This is Crave #5 from this year. This is a Bird City Comics exclusive, Virgin exclusive by Carla Cohen, who did a white background version of this earlier, which it's a homage to Torchy, of course.
Yep.
Both the remake from the 1980s and from the original 1950s, kind of. But that's a very good drawing of the female form. Enough said.
It speaks for itself.
It speaks for itself.
And then here's an autographed Adam Hughes Ferris.
Oh, I love Adam Hughes.
This is one of my favorite Adam Hughes covers. And I picked this one up at the Steel City Con.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
It just has that. What's that, Mark?
That series has beautiful covers.
It does.
Every single issue.
Yes.
And the stories are pretty good too.
Well, I don't know anything about the stories. I've never read the damn thing. But the covers, this cover is, I just love this cover. It's just perfect.
Very cool.
And then 2 more girly books here. Okay, of course, this is a Udon Retailer Virgin exclusive by Ickpot. Anybody know who any of those things are?
That's a mouthful.
Wasn't he the Headless Horseman?
Yeah.
Easy app and 24/7 help.
But I just thought it was pretty good how the
looks like a Gary B book.
As a matter of fact, I got 2 copies of this. I got one for Gary. I just haven't sent it to him yet.
Yep. Nice.
So hopefully he'll appreciate it. Actually, if Mark doesn't have it, I'll send him this version. He'll probably want to have that in his collection.
I do not have that version, but don't feel obligated. I would love to see it. No, that would be awesome. But
What's that?
I don't have that one you just showed.
Oh, this one? No, you're not. Mark and Gary are Conan guys. Not you.
Milt, here's Gary's reaction.
Oh, there's Gary's reaction. He's excited.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know he was here.
He's here.
Okay, and then Arthur Sydam or Soydam. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. The Suydam, the artist.
Mhm.
I have one where he did Red Sonja in the same pose.
Yep.
I have one where he did Vampirella in the same pose. And
Now
I saw this for $2. Crazy, but he does Sheena in the same pose.
Wow.
So it's kind of like a neat little collection
I know.
of those. And then, of course, everybody, of course, should have Need by now by Gary.
Yep.
But I gotta tell you, Gary
Anything
did
else,
pass.
you can go and buy it.
Yeah, if you don't have this, go buy it. But I was actually Gary gave me or got me a copy of one done by Chase Boner, which is that's actually Gary's book.
Yeah, that's Gary's nom de plume for his
Yeah.
his prior escapades, so to speak.
So if you got Need and you liked it, go get this one too. And then I don't know what the hell is this doing here. I don't know why I'm showing this, but I may have showed it before. And this is just the Secret Wars from 2015, #1 blank sketch cover with artwork by Andrew Dusso, which is kind of neat. I don't know if people have seen this before or not.
No, that's cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
okay.
I like that original artwork sometimes. Okay, that's all for now.
Okay. Bill,
Yeah.
you're up.
Milt, I don't want to get you angry or anything. You know that Sudam has a CGC signing coming up.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be there, so he won't get.
Exactly. See, I haven't picked anything up in the past like week or so, just because I went to my LCS after what I thought was a couple months, but it was actually like 5 months. I went through those books recently, but I'll show you a couple quick highlights. Maybe just some of the more indie things I'm kind of interested in. The first is a trade paperback, Quentin by Tarantino.
Oh, look at that.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
What is it,
it's-
an autobiography?
I don't think he wrote it.
Oh, okay.
Well, hold on. He must have, because then that's just a terrible title. But it goes into, just flipping through it now, just kind of technical stuff about some of the characters in his films.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
And it's, there's a nice thing about Uma Thurman here. And he has a nice, I guess, homage to the Pulp Fiction movie poster.
Mm-hmm.
It's something really cool. I just realized that he's got a copy of Elmore Leonard's Rum Punch there. That's the book, in case you didn't know, that, what's the name? Jackie Brown was adapted from.
Yeah, I think I saw a copy of Need there in the back also.
Yeah, it's signed, but Milt would hate it because he didn't see it.
Oh God.
Also from the more recent piles, I don't know if you guys have heard of this. This is a limited series. It just wrapped up from Rom V. I heard about it through Lorenzo and Marcus. Rare Flavors.
Mhm.
It's definitely an interesting title. So this character is, and I don't know if this is based in some sort of like an Indian kind of folklore or anything. The first issue kind of makes me think so. I just haven't really investigated it yet. So he's basically this demon that years ago was thought to have been killed by this hero. And now in the present day, he is traveling through India with the purpose of making a documentary about kind of interesting kind of like local flavors and whatnot. And of course, because he's a demon, he may or may not be eating people along the way. It's definitely a different style. There are parts in the book that they actually do full-blown recipes on what he's eating. I haven't had Indian food, so I can't tell you if the recipes are that good or not. But of course, there are some people who are hot on his trail as well. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big Ram V fan, but that has been one of my more favorite reads, I have to say. I guess you could say it's a rarity in itself. Now, I have been going through my collection perpetually to try to organize it. And these are just a couple things that I have to yet organize. I thought you guys might find interesting. Here's a copy. I've been working on a run of What If Forever. I kind of slowed down once the animated series came out because everybody was getting it. But here's issue number 2.
That's a fun issue.
Yeah, and the only reason it's out here is because I have to get the right bags and boards to fit it. Here is issue 17.
Yep.
Very cool cover.
Yep.
That's
Gary
Gary
Sears,
book right
Spider-Woman.
there.
What's that?
That's a Gary book right there.
Yep.
So
This one looks really cool. I'm going to see if I could read a reprint online. What if Dr. Doom had become a hero? Mephisto action in the back. And I just love the use of the colors in this too.
What do you mean? He is a hero. What do you mean?
Well, this is before he was a hero. It's
He
before
was
they
a hero, he was a villain, and then he was a hero, and then he was a
before they were like, we're running out of ideas. Maybe we should go to some of those what if storylines and see what we can pull.
that what his storyline was one of the first solo Doctor Doom books I ever read, and it's really, really interesting to read. So
It looks really cool.
yeah.
Yeah. What if Doctor Strange had become a disciple of Dormammu?
Yep.
Those are the what ifs I have here. Some older ones that I thought you guys might appreciate. I feel like everybody has been showing off recently their copies of Godzilla #1. I've shown mine, I think it was like last year. So I wanted to show off some of the other Godzilla titles I have. I was a huge Godzilla fan as a kid. I'll go from more recent to older. I think this was from the 90s. Godzilla King of Monsters.
The Dark Horse stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. No napkins there. This one I've seen. I think I saw Roscoe show this off recently, or maybe 22. Godzilla versus Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
yeah.
Godzilla Color Special. This was also from the 90s. I remember this being very vibrant and sticking out when I picked that up right off the rack. It was at my first LCS, actually.
I was thinking that's a really cool cover.
Yeah. And it's it's frightening. I mean, for us, it looks cool. I guess imagine you're about to get eaten. And looking at here, actually says it's Art Adams that does it.
Yeah.
Then some older ones. Again, I've shown off my Godzilla #1 before, but I do have a couple issues from that series. This is one that I was surprised more people don't have, or if they don't have, they don't show. According to CLZ, it is the least valuable of the set, but I don't see why. This is Godzilla #20. Came up with or I guess you could say probably a misunderstanding with the Fantastic Four. Great use of dark cover and Human Torch kind of breaking it up there. Godzilla #11. Again, very cool cover.
Very cool.
Good to see Red Ronin in action.
Yeah. And speaking of Red Ronin, here you go, Godzilla #7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I'm going to show you, I'll show you 4 more for this round. 2 more recent. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I'll show you 4 more for this round. 6 more, rather. I can't do math. Sorry.
Well, you sound like Mark.
It happened. I think it's the T-shirt that's throwing me off.
Yeah, I could be.
We'll assimilate you. Don't worry, Phil.
Yeah,
There we go.
and then we can change your moniker under Philtastics.
Yeah, well, that's why I put it. These are two freebies that were included from Unknown Comics. They call them unknown, I think, because once you make the order, you just never know when it's going to arrive. And these are just both from David Nakayama. There's a foil, and these are both just recent X-Men titles. Here's a foil of Magic.
Oh, very nice.
That's nice.
Milt, I thought you might like this one.
Indeed, quite attractive.
My wife hates this one.
You got Milt's attention back, so you're good.
Yeah.
Your wife hates that one, you said?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I can't figure that one out.
No, it'll be one of those.
You just had your wedding anniversary too, you know, so you got.
Yes.
Something about the female form.
This is another one from Nakayama foil.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
So nice.
At the New York Comic Con, I had him sign a Wonder Woman that he did. It was really, really nice.
There's so many good Psylocks out there.
He was on Roscoe's show recently. Really nice guy. And these are what's the guy's name? Michael Christian. I can't think of the guy's name. I want to say Joseph Michael Christian. That doesn't sound right. The Negative Space guy. Here's one with Psylocke.
Wow, another nice one. Look at that.
This is in my pile that if he goes to a CGC signing, or if I have the opportunity to see him in advance in person, I'll have him sign that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll put that there for now. And another one from him for White Queen.
Oh, wow.
That's neat.
John Tyler Christopher.
There we go. I got the
There we
J
go.
right.
Trev's got it.
JTC. Okay. Now I started. You know what? Hold on. I'll do this one first. This is one I found randomly just digging through my back stuff. I am not a fan of Madonna. I'll pick up, kind of random music books whenever I see them, just because they're kind of hard to come by. But and yeah, she's going to be. They use her song in the Deadpool trailer.
Mm-hmm.
What I found that was interesting on this, when I picked it up, it felt like there was something kind of heavy here. And when you open up the cover, I haven't seen this in a book. There's actually a book plate, and it turns out it was signed by the penciler. I don't know how early this was in his career, Jimmy Palmiotti,
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That is
1991.
cool.
that is neat. I haven't seen that before.
That's a really cool series of stuff that they published. They had like a long run of like Star Trek actors and stuff, and they did a series on the Beatles and a whole bunch of other people. So lots of rock and roll stuff.
I'll see.
Yeah.
Like I've very rarely seen them. The only other one I think I've ever actually seen in person was for the Dead Kennedys, and I picked that up. One of my friends is a huge fan. I sent that to him. And
Dead Kennedys. Wow. That's
Dead
awesome.
Kennedys, yeah.
Yeah.
Then this is one that I guess I would file under. These were series I collected when I was 14, and this is one of the books I always kind of admired for the time. I guess you could say I started this round with Quentin Tarantino. I'll end with Quentin Tarantino. This was Gen 13 #1, the Tarantino homage cover.
Great cover.
Yeah,
Who was the artist on that one?
it's a photograph.
That's a photo? Couldn't
Yeah.
tell. That's just a great cover, though.
Yeah, see if it says anything else on there. No, it just has the interior artist's name on it. It doesn't show the photographer or who the model is either.
She's
If you're unaware,
Yeah.
what's that?
She's attractive.
If you're unaware, that's supposed to be one of the characters from Gen 13.
Mhm.
And that's my round.
Cool.
Okay, that means I'm up.
Mhm.
Now the good books come out. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Okay, so viewers of this channel know that I love Neil Adams, and I've had a couple of videos on him. One was a definitive Neil Adams Batman cover collection, and another one was something like the best Neil Adams Superman collections. So when I go eventually, when I go to there's one LCS now in Connecticut that I go to every now and then. And I'm coming back from Florida. I went there, took a look, and I go online on some of these guys that I know will sell older books, maybe not in the best of shape, but not for a lot of money. And I managed to find two of the books that were on my list, and of the top 10 Superman ones. This one here is Superman number 254 from 1972, July of 1972.
Mhm.
The reason I like that is just because of the nature of what it is with this boy in the crutches and Superman there, saying, "From this moment on, Billy Anders, I bequeath all my superpowers to you." The ultimate sacrifice to help this kid. It's there.
Nice.
But it's great Neil Adams cover. And the other one, I recently had a show on my World's Finest Comics that my mom let me keep. So that's like $3.69. But as they go along, if I find, one that I like, it's not expensive, I'll pick it up. But this happened to be one of them that was on my list. I forget if it made my top 10, but it was on my list as I was collecting them. And it was World's Finest number 208 from 1971, Superman and Dr. Fate. Another great Neil Adams cover.
That is a great cover.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, the effort, and everything that's there. So he always had a great way of making like the facial expressions, even of Batman and all that, like just show emotion. That was one of his great points. And I forget what it was, but I recently said on some show or something that I've almost completed my Volume 1 run of the Justice League of America. And that I need only 4 more. But I realized that the last time I showed 4 or 5 of the books I got, but I didn't show the rest of them that I had picked up to get me to that only 4 are left level of stuff. So I figured I'd show those off right now. So the oldest one is Creeper versus the Justice League of America. It's number 70. This is from March of 1969.
That's a cool book.
Yeah. Very nice. Next one is number 71 from May of 69, The Death Orbit. Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, from May of 1969.
What was the number on that? What was the number on that last Justice League with Creeper?
Oh, the Creeper one is 70.
70. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these books here I haven't even read, So at one point in time, if I have the time, I'm going to sit down and just start reading through them. Number 74, an interesting one. There's no title on the cover, but it looks like it's the Justice Society and the Justice League, I am guessing, only because of Alan Scott being back there. And the 2 Supermen fighting each other.
That is the second appearance of Earth 2 Superman. And I think that's the one.
It's the death of the first Black Canary.
Yes, exactly.
So that way the daughter, becomes the new Black Canary, and they could use her. That's the one that's with Green Arrow all the time now.
Right.
So what was her name?
Diana Lance.
Was it Diana Lance also?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I think also, I forget the husband's name. I think he dies too, or something.
Yeah, Larry Lance or whatever.
Larry Lance,
yeah.
So it is a key. Not that it makes any difference. All right, this is May of 1980. The world is coming to an end. Because Superman, this is 1970. Superman failed to stop a disaster. Here we go. Superman failed to stop this disaster, so the world's coming to an end. Look, everybody's crying. Even Batman.
Come on, Batman's not crying.
There's no crying in baseball. I mean, in Batman.
Batman doesn't cry.
Right. Next one is number 83. It's from 1970. This is a team up of the JLA and the JSA. I summon a dead man to save the life of Earth.
Yep. Spectre.
The world's greatest superhero. Sorry, Mark. Now, this cover I really like a lot, just because of the way they put it together. It's the All Sorcery issue. It's a giant, Giant 77, because DC at one point was putting numbers to their giants, but it's number 85 of the Justice League of America from 1970. It's the all sorcery issue. I like the scrolls there and the way they did it with the green background. It really pops out at you. The Fantastic Fingers of Felix Faust and 1 Hour to Doomsday.
Cool. Nice.
2 more. Number 88. This is from 1971. And you see the JLA is again dejected because they failed to save the earth, but 3 ordinary people did it.
Really cool to see Mara in there. I think that's like one of the only times she appears in the early Justice Leagues.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I didn't notice that. You're right. Yeah. Okay. And the last one, so those are all sub 100s. The last one was one that I kept on missing getting it, even though it was newer. But it was one that if either they wanted a lot of money for it for some reason, I'm not sure why, or it was in poor shape and whatever else. And I'm not looking for, but like I try to get a nice mid-grade if I can of it. And I finally got this one. It's Justice League 151. Nothing special about it except that I was having a hard time finding a decent one. This is from 1978, and it's got Wonder Woman on it there. Steve, you got Wonder Woman.
Again, tied up. Just
Who is it? Jeanette Lepore, that book that she wrote about Wonder Woman and her creation. You got to read it if you haven't read it. Very, very interesting book. So that's my round 1, guys. Right?
Good books.
all right, those are great.
Those are good
Yeah.
books.
Thank you. Who went first? Mark, right?
Nope, Chuck.
Nope.
Chuck?
Yeah.
Right? Forget. I lost my.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Chuck.
I tell you, it's hard to follow up some great Justice Leagues, but I'll see what we can do here. So we had the local RallyCon 2 weekends ago, and as people have heard me say, I want to find out where all those people are shopping, where they say no one's buying comics, because there were a lot of people there buying comics and a lot of people selling comics, and it was really, really great to see. And so I picked up a few things. I went there with a specific goal in mind, and then I picked up other stuff because that's how these things work. So, yeah, I know it's all right. I'll keep going. So one of the other things I picked up was this book here, a nice, very nice House of Mystery.
Very nice.
So
That's cool.
That looks nice and clean too.
Yeah.
It is. It's great.
It's a very fine copy. So it's in fantastic shape, and I love scarecrows. So that's just a great cover. I could not turn that down, as they say. He also had a couple of Harlequins as I'm working on my runs. I do buy modern books, despite what people think. I know this is not modern. I mean, I think this is barely 2000, but I do actually buy some modern books.
Yeah. I think we all do.
Just not a lot.
Yeah.
But those are cool.
Yeah.
But then I did balance it out. The same dealer, the same guy was all these. I picked up my Hanna-Barbera Parade because
Nice. You got to.
you got to, and you never find them. So there's that too. I can tell you that Bronze Age horror is still selling like crazy, and I was able to pick up a pair of Ghosts.
Oh, nice.
Higher numbers and not at crazy prices.
That's good.
Where everything else were just crazy prices. I love this cover though.
Yeah.
I really, man, these Ghost books.
Yeah.
This is such an underrated run of books. The stories are a lot of fun, and the covers are just awesome.
Yep.
And I mean, you can't go wrong with them. So, there.
Oh, I
Move
see
that
some
there.
figures here.
Yeah, well,
Just missed some DC, Chris.
I got a little bit more. So I finally finished up The Watchmen. I
Excellent.
found the 3 issues of Watchmen I needed to finish my run, even though I've got a beat the hell trade paperback of them.
Yeah.
But
I I think
Yeah,
I only
that's
have
a-
number one of the original comic books, but I have the trade paperback. I've read through it a bunch of times.
Yeah. Now for the books I went to get. So the guy who runs the con, he came into a huge collection of magazines when a local collector passed away about 4 or 5 years ago. And if you saw me on the 1011 with Gary last time I was showing off my magazines, the run of Epic I got was from the same guy.
Ooh.
So so I went there specifically looking for Lynn to get more magazines. And it's a good thing I found him when I did, because he was like people were like lined up all around his booth to get stuff. So I got some more Daredevils. And just a quick reminder for people who don't know, the Daredevil series here, this is a series that was British UK, which had, of course, Daredevil, Spider-Man, and others. More importantly, it had Alan Moore and Alan Davis, Captain Britons,
Mhm.
which have only been reprinted once, because Alan Moore got in a fight with Marvel. I know that shocks everyone that Alan Moore got in a fight with someone. I'm sure he's gotten better as he's gotten older. Okay.
Where were they reprinted at?
It was a X-Men Archive Captain Britain collection, which goes for like insane amounts of money online, because
Yep.
it only got printed once, I think. And so, yeah, I remember seeing it in the store and not picking it up because I didn't know what it was at the time.
Yeah.
And now I'm kicking myself for not doing it. This also has the button that came with it, so.
Oh, it's a button down there?
Yeah, there's a button down there.
Cool.
Picked up another Daredevils here. So I'm only like 2 issues short now. There were only 11 issues of this. And I've got the really big one is number 7, which is the first time that Marvel Universe is referred to as Earth 616. That one I already have, but I'm trying to finish the rest of the run now. So
What do those go for these days?
that particular book, the number 7.
Any of them? Yeah.
Oh, any of them? So the $40-$50 he has on here is about right for a lot of these in higher grade. That number 7 though goes for crazy money online, just crazy money. So
I mean, when you say crazy, what's crazy?
$200-$300.
Okay.
I mean, I'm on a teacher salary, so kind of like Mark.
Well, you already have.
Mark, I have to factor that into my budget equation. He puts it in Canadian dollars. I put in teacher dollars. So now, what I found out while I was there was that wasn't the end of the Captain Britain run. I always assumed that was the end, and then it went to Captain Britain Volume 2, which then went into Excalibur. No. Turns out the Daredevils went over to another title called The Mighty World of Marvel, where they started issue 2 and went through the rest of the time. Now, The Mighty World of Marvel was also reprinting Marvel miniseries at the time. So you had this beautiful reprint of Wolverine 3 limited series here. With, again, the new Captain Britain stories, where Milk, we get the return of Betsy Braddock, the Betsy Braddock we all know and love, or at least before she got brainwashed by Ninja. So I got that one. I also picked up,
And changed her hair color.
that's right, another Mighty World of Marvel here, which does have the original badge. So
that is cool.
Yeah, so these are really cool. And again, I love, and y'all know I love this the Cloak and Dagger mini series. So getting another copy of that, yeah, $5 US. Well, anyways, you're just talking about my so-called raise. So another Mighty World of Marvel, and I was just shocked that Lynn had all of these. So I just kind of like grabbled them all up, and got in trouble later on with the boss because I didn't exactly tell her how much I spent.
You didn't clear it with her.
No, I did not clear it. I did not check with my financial advisor before I did this. So
better to ask for forgiveness than permission, Chuck.
Yeah, well,
Mark, well said.
That's right. I agree with that.
Another great Mighty World of Marvel here, and these books are in really nice shape. I mean, these are solid. These are
That's
solid.
A great cover.
8.5/9s. I mean, the guy who was getting these ran a newsstand, so he got all the magazines directly off the rack when they came in. So
nice.
And another Mighty World of Marvel. So, So these were just really awesome, and
Very
I
cool.
did not pay the prices on here. I got a discount for buying in bulk. So
Way to
while
do
he
it.
had all those great things, he had some other things too. A nice Marvel Man special.
Oh, look at that.
Mm.
Is that the Alan
Beautiful
Moore
painted
Marvel
cover
Man?
here.
Is that the Alan Moore Marvel Man?
Yes, it's Alan Moore Marvel Man. Yes. So
Now, who did all these covers?
I think that's Weston. I think this is 1983. So I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. And then I was able to scoop up a Warrior issue. He had a bunch of them, but I was running out of money at that point. So I got this one with the Great V for Vendetta logo on it.
Nice.
So these were just really, really cool. And the last set I'm going to show were from two things. This and then some things I got back from CGC. One of my guys on YouTube did an auction, and I got some stuff back from the slab for me. So as always, he had high grade Dell books.
Wow, that's so good looking. The black
Such
cover too.
a great book.
It's a beautiful book. It's probably 7.5 or
That's
so.
great.
Grabbed a Ringo Kid because they were cheap.
Yeah.
So, a really nice high grade Magnus, early Magnus.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh wow, look at that. Yeah.
So, yeah, we continue to multiply the number of gold key books shown on YouTube now by exponential numbers.
Yep.
This is one of the shows where you see a lot of them.
That's right. And speaking of gold key,
Nice.
a nice higher number Star Trek here.
Yep.
Mhm.
So, and he had 2 books he had sent off to CGC for me to get slab that I had bought from him. She pressed and cleaned. And apparently I got a very angry CGC grader that day,
Oh,
which was depressing.
Was
Well,
it
actually-
the girl in the advertisement in the commercial that's
It
sent them?
might have been because I think they actually tore a little bit on this one here. But this is the House of Secrets 103.
Oh.
With just an awesome, awesome black cover.
mm-hmm.
You know, we talk about negative space and stuff, right?
Right.
Look at that.
Yep.
Just
Very
a
cool.
just a beautiful, beautiful book. So
I mean, 8.5 is still good.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
it is, except there's a tiny little tear. I can't know if I can put right up here that was not there when I got it.
That
And,
happens. That happens a lot too.
Yeah.
Because that Fantastic Four I sent in, I was happy at a 4.5, and I knew it had about a 2-inch split at the bottom. And when I read the notes, it said detached front cover, and I'm saying, what does that mean, really? I said I know it wasn't detached because they even had the video of it, and I'm holding them saying it wasn't detached. So they look at things, and sometimes I think they categorize it in a way that hurts the grade. You know.
I do.
Thing
Well,
split, slide, 2-inch sign. He says detached front cover. Now either that or he pulled on it and detached it. I don't know.
well, and this was another one, you know, and y'all have seen me. I did some stuff on my own channel. I've been getting a lot of these Charlton Horrors graded, and this was one. It's the prettiest 9.0 book you will ever see in your entire life.
That's nice.
That is nice.
Very nice.
Do not tell me for a minute it's a 9.0. It's not a 9.0. I don't know what they were smoking, but it's a really, really trippy cover. So
Mm-hmm.
I love that cover. So
Maybe they have a rule that Carlton books can't be over a 9.
they must have they must, because I don't. Yeah, I don't get it. But
You
anyway,
know, because there's no love for Carlton except for you and me, Chuck. That's it.
well,
Wait, I like Charlton too.
so would everyone be nice to
And this Carlton is a different brand.
Oh,
Charlton is the one that I've got.
So could they be nice and reduce the prices on them so we can buy the rest of them?
Yes.
And the last two I'm going to show were my comic shop pickups because they were cheap. Another Harley Quinn.
Nice.
I'll get that run finished one of these days, maybe. I'm working on it. So, and then the one that I'm most excited about, and this is a first print, Bone number 6.
Oh, cool.
I almost have the entire series now in first print. I'm just missing like 3 of them. And so I just got to get the other 3. I don't care if they're graded or not. I've got them all I've got other prints of the early ones, but it's like 4, 7, and 8. I've got to get the first print of. So there was a 4 up in that auction at 9.8, and it wound up going for like $500, $400 or something. And it just,
I always thought that was a great book, but did you ever read it?
Oh yeah. Oh no, I read it. No, I read it as it came out. I got on the train with it about issue 11, and got the first collection, and then bought as many of the earlier ones as I could in first print, and kept buying it after that. Jeff Smith actually signed and drew a picture in my first collection.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, all right, and that's all I got for tonight. So
Very nice.
So some cool stuff.
Very cool.
So
Those magazines are awesome.
yeah.
Too bad you ran out of money.
Yeah, well, my wife's probably
Anybody
happy.
notice that I have a really cool shirt on? Anyway, I only have, believe it or not, Joe, I only have 6 more books.
I got only 5 in my second time around. So.
But because I always have something else.
Yeah. You have the accessories. So
I have accessories. So I'm going back just a little bit further from the one that I showed you before. This is from 1966.
Oh, awesome.
oh man.
Oh, that is so good.
Wait, they had a Spectre costume?
You
Yeah.
bastard. That is so
Spectre
good.
one would be fantastic.
They had a Spectre. I would love to find that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to have the Green Hornet one too, but
Wow.
they had a Spectre one. Oh my gosh.
Nah, Green
Isn't that
Hornet's got to be the one. That is
Yeah,
awesome.
The boxes are cooler from the 60s. But
Mhm.
Yes. That congratulations.
anyway,
Mark, you've taken the night as far as I'm concerned.
no, I haven't. Anyway, so very quickly, I'll go through my last remaining books for Joe and crew. And this first one, Joe, I picked up just because when I saw it, actually, I saw this last week at a place I was doing some perusing, and I thought of you, and I thought I got to get that and read it because it'll be cool, and it is extremely cool, and it's a great story. And that's the yearbook from 1989.
Okay.
Very nice. It's a great story. They're like this was a $2 book.
Yeah, they're not expensive.
They're not expensive. And then because I had shown us Flying Saucers book a show at a show on one of the shows, I think the one I was doing for Gary, and I went back through my Flying Saucers gel collection and realized the number one that I had was actually the 15 Center, which is the last book of the run. And I went hunting, and I was really fortunate to find this one. This is the number one issue.
Oh, very nice.
12 Center with like the bubble helmets. And what's really cool about this book, on the back cover of this book, it talks about how Russia and the United States are having a space race and hoping to have a man landed on the moon by 1970.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is kind of neat. But
Too bad that didn't happen.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, it didn't happen. So the place where the person was selling off a bunch of books that were kind of cool, and I just thought this was really neat. I found this book, and it's a number one issue from 1969, 1970, and it's a Charlton, and it has a whole whack of first appearance and comics in it, like a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
So
So
both stories, 69 stars. Okay.
yeah, and it goes through all of the NFL teams. It goes through all their stars, and then it does a complete play-by-play by quarter at the end of the book of the Super Bowl between the Jets and the Baltimore Colts.
I got a
So
story
first-
for you about that one, but I won't tell it tonight.
Okay, so first appearance in comics of Dick Butkus, Don Meredith, Brett Starr, Fran Tarkenton, Vince Lombardi is in here, and then Joe Namath is pictured at the very end of the comic in a couple of frames, winning the Super Bowl that year.
Mm.
The play-by-play that Super Bowl should have been really short, given how
Given it was a blowout, but and then they have the complete schedule of all the games and stuff. It's a pretty neat book. I had not seen it before, and I just thought it was pretty cool.
It is.
And
If you send that to me, I can have Namath sign the last page.
that would be cool.
We'll have to talk about this.
We'll talk about that. But will you be there to see it happen?
Yes.
Will you take a photograph?
Yes, exactly. Yes. I'll digitally send it to Steve to print.
Okay, so he can make it look pretty. So the last two books is actually a series that I already have, but I had an opportunity to pick up two much better copies of it. And it's a limited series. It's Beware the Claws of the Cat.
The cat.
Mhm.
So issues 1 and 2. It's a 4-issue series from 1972. This is where Greer Grant was the cat before she became Tigra.
Yep.
And so like Tigra's origin is in Marvel Chillers 53 and all that kind of stuff. And I did have a copy, but it was really beat to death. And these kind of fell into my lap a few weeks ago. And I just said, yeah, I gotta pick those up.
Yeah.
To make a better run. So my last book of the night.
Write that down.
It is true. And you talk about certificate of authenticity, which is really cool. So this one has a certificate of authenticity. And I think may have mentioned it. There's one of the comic shops that I deal with, Capcan Comics out of Brantford. And they came into possession of the Dragon Lady comic collection. If you do any online looking at their website, or you just do Dragon Lady out of Toronto, huge history. And they put a bunch of the owners and the estates books up for sale. This one came up for sale. It comes with a certificate of authenticity on the back that if I want to, I can take it back to Capcan. They will send it to CGC, where CGC will include it in the collection and label as part of the Dragon Lady collection.
Oh.
And from 1972, and I finally have a copy of this.
Oh, you
Friday
lucky.
Foster.
Very nice.
That is
It's in
nice.
great shape too.
It's in real nice shape. I think maybe a 5.5, Chuck, to be honest, but I don't care.
It looks
That's
great.
good.
Yeah, so I was really happy about being able to acquire this for the
Say
collection.
5.5 is my sweet spot.
Yeah, like I probably wouldn't have been able to afford to pick that up if it had been a lot higher. So
Oh yeah.
anyway, that's I was pretty happy about that, and like the whole history behind it. So there's the certificate of authenticity that I can take it back, and it will be included. It's a I'm trying to think of the right term for CGC. It's not the levels of collections.
Not pedigree.
Yeah, it's not pedigree, but it's the one, whatever that is below it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it comes from that. Chris Bigger is saying I did a good job.
I can't believe
Wow.
that. It's not Chris Bigger. Someone has hijacked
Somebody hijacked his
the
channel.
computer.
Just goes to show you that Pam Grier and Friday Foster can unite anybody together.
Hey, Bigger wasn't here for the first half in my first show. I showed more DC books than I've ever shown before. So he needs to go back.
My DC show
go back
too.
and look.
It's my DC show. You got to watch it,
Yeah.
Chris. Got to go.
Chris,
back.
Anyway,
the flip side is that he's exhausted his DC box, so you got to be careful.
Well, okay. Anyway, so on that,
Well,
I'm
thank you,
done.
Mark. That was very good. Excellent books. And we go to the Pittsburgh Pirate guy now.
Okay. Those are great books. At the Steel City Con, I picked up these 4 books. A buddy of mine who has a store there, and these are Marvel Kids Interactive Adventures from 1998, and these are really rare books. I can't find them anywhere. If anybody in the chat or any of you guys know anything about them, I'd appreciate it. Let me know. The first one was the Fantastic Four.
Oh, interesting.
Never seen that.
Yes, second one was Spider-Man.
Huh.
I mean, I've never seen these before.
No.
Are they
I don't
straight
know.
up books
Never
or are they
seen them either.
Uh, they're comics, straight
Wow.
up comics. I thought since they were titled, the kids' interactive adventures, that it might have something to do with the computer program, but it doesn't. It's not identified as such. The Hulk, and the last one was
X-Men.
X-Men. So I got these for a pretty cheap price because neither of us knew what the hell they were. One guy told me that, they were kids' books that weren't sold. They were sold like in a toy store or something. But if anybody knows anything about the Marvel Kids Interactive Adventure books, let me know, please. And then also when I was at the Steel City Con, the other thing that I picked up was a guy who used to be my French teacher in high school, of all things. He sells comic books now. He's a dealer in comics. Actually comes over to my house. We have some stuff on the grill and we bullshit about comics.
And then they say, parlez-vous français? Oui, oui, monsieur.
Où est la télévision? Anyhow, so he gave me Where Monsters Dwell.
Oh, nice.
Issues 1 through 10. He gave them to me for $50. They're kind of cool.
They are.
Kinda neat. This
Nice.
is
I like that.
number 1, Jack Kirby. Number 2, I think it's Marie Severin. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Same with number. I think she did a bunch of these.
That's a fun series.
Yeah.
Yes, and number 5, which is kind of cool, is the first. I only brought 1 through 5 up, but number 6 is the first reprint ever of Tales to Astonish, maybe 53, which had the first appearance of Groot.
Yep.
And I think that's the only time it's been reprinted, or at least up till that time. So the other ones were all reprints of mostly Atlas books from the 50s. But I picked up some DC books, and for everybody it's a DC fan out there, I got the first issue of Trigger Twins.
Wow.
Oh,
From
yeah.
1973. I know absolutely nothing about it, but it was a number 1 and I didn't have it, so I thought, what the hell?
That's really about all there is to know about them.
What's that?
That's about all there is to know about them.
Okay. And I got this. Now, this was Boy Commanders, and it came with a sticker on it.
Yeah.
It said, written, drawn by Simon and Kirby.
Kirby, yeah.
And it's the Boy Commandos.
Yeah, I got that one. That's the reprint of the number 1. That's the number 1 from the 1980 or 70?
It's their first appearance. It's a reprint from Detective Comics number 66 in August 1942.
Right. I got that one, and I also then picked up, because I liked it. I don't know if it's here. I guess it's downstairs, but at Ollie's. Is it here? No, I guess it's downstairs. At Ollie's, I get. Oh, here. No. Oh, yeah, here it is. I got this, which is cool.
Yeah.
It reprints a bunch of them inside. So, and that's after I got that one that you just had, and it was pretty cool. And I want to read a little bit more of it. But we're going to go back and buy the ones from the 1940s. So I found this at Ollie's. I think it was originally it was $50, and I think I paid like $8.99.
Wow, isn't that great? Ollie's, good stuff, cheap.
Yep.
And then I picked up this World Worlds number 1.
Oh, nice. So just looking at
Yeah.
that downstairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a Joe Kubert cover, but that's John Carter,
Very cool.
Warlord of Mars.
Right.
Mhm.
So it's kind of neat. And
Yeah.
then they had the second issue, and I like dinosaur covers, so I picked that one up too. But okay, and then the last two books I got. The first one is from the Holocaust Center of Greater Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And it is called Chutzpah Superheroes of the Holocaust, Volume 1, The Upstanders. And this is something that there aren't that many of.
No,
It's
That's interesting.
that's cool.
Jewish superheroes from World War II.
Nice.
This is actually something that I found that didn't pay a whole lot for, but can't ever get rid. If you have any Jewish friends, my one buddy of mine that was in college, roommate of mine for 3 years. He was a Jewish guy, and I'll probably end up sending this to him.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny. He used to take me to all the Jewish events, and I was blonde hair, blue eyed at the time, so it was kind of funny.
A little awkward.
Well, it was different. It was it was great to meet girls because they didn't have any blonde hair, blue eyed guys at the time. That's why I went. I was at a Rosh Hashanah service, and I didn't know anything about Rosh Hashanah. But okay, enough of that. And my final book I got this reprints Valkyrie's appearances in Airfighter and Airboy comics from the Golden Age. Those are rare books to get.
Mm-hmm.
But this is I just love the cover, and it was done by Joe Chiodo. And that was in the early 2000s.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
And it's funny doing this right after the Holocaust book.
Uh-huh.
Not smart. I should have thought about that. But this is a really has the sexy appeal to it, and it's a good cover.
Very good.
That's all I got for now.
That's good. Thanks, Phil.
I try to be quick.
Thank you. All right, Phil.
Okay.
Bringing up the rear.
I've only got two books for this round here.
It's okay.
I know that we've had a lot of people from our community lately do different kind of Kickstarter books and whatnot. And if you haven't jumped on those yet, I know that Brian's ends on Monday, and I believe Doug's ends sometime next week. But I thought it'd be interesting if I showed some original stuff as well from somebody who I attended a Kubert class online with, a guy by the name of Robert Piluso. Both of these books, I believe, are based on characters that are in the public domain. But one in particular, I think that this group, and I know that Mr. Bigger is definitely going to enjoy. So the first one I'm going to show you is, these are oversized, it's called Senior Zorro. These are, again, both written and drawn by Robert Piluso. You get these on Amazon. Now, I'll say this. He does have a very stylized look. It might not be for everybody. But in this one here, Senior Zorro, The Curse of Capistrano. I like that his style shows like a very kind of let me get a better page here. Very kind of fluid movement. And I feel like he'd do a great Batman, to be honest with you.
That's really cool.
What really just kind of interests me about this too is that, it says something for someone who goes out and says, look, I'm going to make a comic and draw just like Todd McFarlane and do this. And it says another thing, that you're into a subject and a story so much that you just want to put it out there, even if maybe your level of talent isn't as high as something like a McFarlane or whatnot. And I'll be honest with you, I still think he's talented I think it works really well. Here's actually a really cool panel, I think, with the Zora on the horse here. That's
Yeah, I
almost
like
something I could see, like, burned into leather or something and hanging up.
It's got a
But-
real Guernica feeling to it,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
like I said, you get these on Amazon. I highly recommend you check this one out. And this is another one by Robert that I found really interesting. Only because it sounds like, and I should note, by the way, too, they have an introduction in this by Charlie Fish. He was one of the professors at Kubert that helped Robert out a lot. Back to this one. What was interesting is not only just the story in this, but the back of it as well, leads me to believe that this character actually was a predecessor to Batman. This is Gangster Bat. And to be honest, it's a very kind of Batman type of story, but I would say if you mix Batman with Moon Knight and a Tommy gun, again, you've got Robert's, very stylized look here.
Wow.
But as I said, really what interested me the most is when you get to the back, it's a whole, it almost feels like an essay, The Mask of the Bat here, where he talks about researching this and finding, trying to find exactly where he says it here. It would have been great if I just highlighted and prepared, but highlighted that Bob Kane said basically he had seen, he'd based Batman on some of the Hollywood, performances he saw on Broadway. And he kind of does the math and he says, Bob Kane, born in 1915, would have been about 5 years old when a Broadway show called The Bat was a big hit on Broadway. And he goes just into a whole kind of history about it and everything. But I don't know, I found it really interesting. And like I said, the story itself is pretty good too.
So
Again,
he's an English professor. It said on the back of the one of the books.
Yeah, he's MA, MFA, serves as professor of English at Mount San Antonio College, Southern California. But yeah, like I said, you can get both of these on Amazon.
So he didn't do a Kickstarter or anything like that. He actually put the bill for this, and he's selling them on Amazon.
Correct. I think it's one of those arrangements where there's nothing printed until you order it. I don't know exactly how those Amazon books work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's that round.
Very cool. Very
Very
nice.
cool.
Okay.
That's good. That won't see that anywhere else but here.
Yeah.
That's what I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. That's why you do the show, Joe.
Right, because you guys bring all this great stuff. So, on that comic book crowd show, we showed our bronze titles. I showed Doc Savage, the Marvel Doc Savage, and on that show, I showed a copy of the annual, the only annual for that first series, but it was really, really beat up. I noticed that when I was looking at it. So I went out and I got one that's much nicer. Right there.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
This one is in really good shape. I'd say this one's at least an 8. Only because CGC will find something wrong with it. It's really, really in good shape. So I was happy to find this. And I forget how much I paid for it, but it wasn't a lot.
Good stuff.
And in connection with Doc Savage, I am kind of completing, I'm looking at Doc Savage. I've got some of the DC ones, looking at the ones I want to pick up. Because if you saw that show, you saw I still have the Bantam 45-cent paperbacks that I bought as a kid and read all the stories. And so this was one that I saw that was on my list from 1976. It was part of the Marvel 2-in-1 series that had the Thing in it.
Yeah. Yep.
And this was actually, I think, a 3-parter. I'm going to try to refrain from buying parts 2 and 3 of this, which is issues number 22 and 23. All of them have the Human Torch in it, but the 22 and 23 don't have Doc Savage as far as I can see, but instead have Thor, and it finishes up the storyline. in that. So this is from 1970. I forget if it's 5 or 6. I think 76. Came at the tail end of the series. Now, I on that show, I also showed The Shadow and have the entire first run plus more books, double copies and triple of some of the DC first run of The Shadow. And I really like that. I like going back, to those type of times. And I'm always on the lookout for other Shadow books. I think DC, the next two volumes, they updated them and they really cracked from what I could see. With the last volume that they did of it, they put him back in the 1930s. So I'm probably going to look towards that. But I went to the Cave, which is the comic book shop in Connecticut that I found last year, and for $3 a piece, I found these Eternity Comics, which is a Malibu imprint, Prime Classics #2.
That's really nice.
Now this is cool.
This is from 1974. All right. It ran for 13 issues. All right. And Prime Classics #3. Okay. And the key about this is they are reprints, but they are reprints of the newspaper clips.
Oh,
So,
that's neat.
Yeah, when you open them up, they're in black and white.
Very nice. I
So-
really like that. And there were how many issues, Joe?
13, unless I forget. I think 13 issues.
Cool.
I think they go from I can't remember now. But there were 13 issues in it. And so these are the first two I came up with. You can find them online. I don't know for how much. But I'm gonna go back and look if they had these two, maybe they have the others somewhere and just haven't put them out yet.
What year were they from?
They were from 1988, I think.
That sounds about right for Eternity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It had to be in the 80s, right?
Might be 86.
No, #3 is from September '88, and they were published monthly by Eternity Comics, a division of Malibu Graphics Inc. Copyright. I want to see if you said anything more in here about it. No, but they give a special thanks to the San Francisco Academy of Comic Art. So they must have gotten it from them. And you see this one here. It says at the top, continued from last issue. So it's just these newspaper things that go on, and they just continue the stories, I guess. So
Very
the
cool.
cover kind of caught my attention.
Yep.
The covers, because I thought they were pretty cool.
Yeah,
I really like
like the pulp.
Those newspaper reprints are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I haven't read through them yet, but I'm going to look and see if I'm definitely going to try to complete that run if I could find them. $3 a piece would be fine if I could find them for $3 a piece.
What's it called again?
Say that again.
What's it called again?
It's called Crime Classics.
Crime Classics. Okay.
They probably can't use. It says the Shadow and Historical Collection. They probably couldn't use the shadow across the top or something like that. Who knows? So they came up with this. And in all 13 issues of the Shadow. So it's not like they said Crime Classics and we're going to do Dick Tracy also. I mean, it's just the Shadow. All right. And now, on the last Espresso mail call, I showed everybody the copy of the $6 Million Man #1 in extremely good shape that I bought for some 20 some odd dollars, right? And so I was thinking to myself, so you got, the $6 Million Man, what should I get to go along with it, guys? What do you think?
The Bionic Woman.
Bionic Woman.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And it's a great copy. It's from 1977. And I think I looked it up, there's only 5 issues in this, So it's one
that is great. Yeah.
that I might be able to complete. I'm not going to go out looking. I mean, if I come across it, fine. But it's a great copy. It's in beautiful condition,
Yeah.
And so the Bionic Woman. So now, if my comic room, which is being built right now, is finished, I could put them side by side and be kind of cool.
Very nice.
So that's it. All right. a somewhat longish Espresso Mail Call, but some really, really good books. So I want to thank you guys for showing up again. Milt, thank you. You always have great. I'm glad you had some girly ones in there too. I can't buy them for myself, but I could live vicariously through you. So, Chuck, as usual, some great books. Always, and great, historical perspective. Mark, same for you and all the toys that you have. And Phil, good books. And thanks for showing us those books from that professor guy from it was your classmate, I guess, at the Cooper School. And I want to thank all the people in the chat that showed up. We had people coming in and leaving because it was such a long show. And again, don't forget, these are T-shirts that are available only to channel members, and it's $1.99 a month. Everything that you give, or if you buy one of my other T-shirts on my store or whatever, all the money goes to St. Jude's Research Hospital for Children with Cancer and the Talented Towers Foundation. And so I want to thank everybody again for showing up. I really appreciate it. And with that, we'll say good night to you all. Good night.
Night, everyone.
Night,
Not everyone.